If you're ever doing one of these, put all the rest of your shim washers back in the bag and then put a cable tie around them two, because by the time you put them on the bench, knock the bag over, got them all muddled up again, you've got to start again, and I've done it a few times. So right, so drive side we had 86 thou, which is that one, and timing side we had 98 thou. So we got 8 and 6 is 14, isn't it? What's 8 and 9?
17.
17 plus that is 18. So we've got 184 total. And we were measuring about 6 thou, and you should have 12 thou, so we want 178, don't we, in total. This is your new set of crank thrust washers. You want to get two, I mean these are all different sizes, but you want to get two that are roughly the same thickness. We've got 125, 130, 150 there. And that's 145. 67, 167, getting closer, isn't it? That's 176. Right, we'll go with those two for starters. $87. Okay, that's near enough. You want to try and match the pair, because obviously your crankshaft's floating in the casings. So if you've got a big lump one side,
yeah,
and a small one the other side, like you wouldn't put in that and that. See the difference in thickness between those two?
Yeah.
So that would be pushing your crank off centre line too much. You want to try and maintain your centre line if you can, to the best of your ability. That washer's in there, those cases go that way. Get rid of that. There's that, that's that. So we've got that's in, washers in, that's in, that's in, that's in. Circlips in, washers in, that's in, that's in. Okay. Tiny bit of grease on them. So that is our time inside. Rest him over there. Jiggle in there, jiggle and a wiggle. That's your end float there, you see. And we're looking for 12 thou. I would say that's over. The idea is to see that conrod, that's the centre line of your crankcases. Your conrod, you want to try and keep that see that crack there, the join face? You want to try and keep that conrod close to the centre as you can.
Oh right, okay. Yeah.
We're talking minimal, but the nearer you can get it, so the packers are roughly the same size. You're halfway there. No, that's 12 thou.
No way. Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's why you take your measurements first. We were close on those shims.
Yeah.
So that's 12 thou. That's fine. Cool. So that's our end float set.
Midas touch dyer does it again.
Well, that's why you measure them first, to be fair. But anywhere, you know, plus or minus 1 thou on the end float, that ain't going to make the slightest bit of difference. Then you have to have end float, so. Yeah, because as everything heats up and moves, if you haven't got end float, it all just jams itself up. So like these will expand at a different rate to the crankshaft, and
Yeah.
so you've got to have leeway there, you know. So again, a bit like the gearbox shim washers, you've got your base stock there of 10 different sizes. So what you do is you get your old ones and put them back in the stockpile.
Yeah.
And then you know we've got a nice set for rebuilding other engines in. Probably was originally olive drab, that engine, that
Yeah.
bits that people don't look at. If you're ever doing one of these, put all the rest of your shim washers back in the bag and then put a cable tie around them two, because by the time you put them on the bench, knock the bag over, got them all muddled up again, you've got to start again, and I've done it a few times. So
That's it. What a great idea.
you know that they're the ones out of that engine.
How tight should the bushes be?
That's about right,
Yeah.
but you've obviously got this split here.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to have to do is press that whole main unit out of there. See, I'll be able to press that out, which is your bearing retainer. Yeah, but that piece there, which is retains that piece, you will never get that out of there. Well, you will if you've got all the right pressures and tools, but it's underneath there, you see. They're a pressure fit. So what I'm going to have to do is just try and blow a little bit of weld in there and there, because you won't get that out, not without completely ruining the casings, I shouldn't think, because they're put in at the factory, you know. So what we've got to do is get all of this studs and stuff off of it, so when it goes on the milling machine to face it all off smooth, I can clamp it down.
Yeah.
Nice and tight. I'll have to put block plates under it. But mind you, I can hang that off the edge of the block plate. Should be able to clamp to there.
So is there a knack to getting these out at all?
If you can get them spinning, turning, normally they'll come out. It's lifting, I think.
What are you using there?
It's a stud remover. It's got one, see that moves, 2, 3, basically 3 of those with a tolerance fit, so as you wind it one way it will lock onto the stud.
Okay. So once you got it spinning, how then would you raise it?
Just try and lift it out, but I might have to put some heat on them anyway. Alright, shims and pins. See, that's a good thing because they're nice and tight already. So you just heat your casings up. Mark your locating pins. So by the time they're in there and pressed in, you probably have to ream those.
Okay. So will they come out as a standard size and then you have to ream them into position?
These would be slightly oversized probably.
Yeah.
And then you put them in once they're in. Then if you've got to open them out, you could do it with valve grinding paste, but it'll take you forever. Just do it with a reamer, you know. So those can't go in till I've welded, but I can prep them and pin them and all that shit. So what we've got to concentrate on doing is trying to get all of these out of here. That one should just bang out with a bit of heat. Basically what you've got to do is take them out individually. Yeah, get these out, because they're blind holes, you can't knock them out from the other side.
Yeah.
So you've got to basically just cut through them with a Dremel or whatever, and then they'll just collapse.
Yeah.
And then they'll pull out okay. That was easier than I thought. Right, it's left the locating pin in, so we can just replicate that. There's no oil hole, and just heat him up and plop him straight back in. You can try heating the casings and just giving it a crack like that. Sometimes they just fall out. So basically it'll be the rest of the day fanning around trying to get all of these in and out, and then set up the welding for tomorrow. Something, I don't know what they've done to this engine. See all the hammer marks in here? Strange. And then any marks from your side cutters, you just file them off before you put it back in, you know. Wind a nut on. Just get another nut. Put him on there, lock the two together, and then turn your one nearest the face, and that will undo the stud because it's locked it off, yeah?
Okay. I like it.
That's the old school way of doing it. These work very well, but I've busted the one that fits that. It's not too bad steel into alley, generally. Some of the ones you get into cast iron blocks that hold manifolds on are an absolute pig to get out. Right, so now, once we've tried to weld that, both sides, we can clamp that down on the milling machine and just face it back off where we need to. And that, apart from that lip there, which I can hang off the side of the bed, and then we can get into that to mill that back flat. Because you will do it by hand, but you've got a milling machine, you might as well use it, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Next week on the workshop.
So you're going in at a slightly different angle? So
You want to come in sort of that angle. Now just see if it'll take. What you need to do is get a weld pull going first, and then feed your rod in. But like I say, because it's got a crack all the way through it and it'll have oil in there,
yeah.
As you get it hot, it will just fester all the oil out and you won't be able to get any weld in it.
Yeah.
So you might have to get it hot a few times before you can get anything in it.
Okay.
So we'll try it and see what happens.